for me that you both have access.
Okay.
Okay, so I'll go first with my speech. Okay. All right. So for my Shield of Life speech, the person I decided to choose was my mom. I chose my mom because, well, I have a good relationship with both of my parents. I get along great. They mean the absolute world to me. So they're both really important, but I just decided to choose my mom because she's the most like kind-hearted and genuine and like kindest person and giving person ever. So we're similar and like different at the same time. So what I mean by that is that we like bicker a lot. We butt heads and we're just like arguing for like daily things, nothing that's gonna like break our relationship. It's all unconditional love. It's normal for like all relationships, mother-daughter type of thing. So we're like that, and so I want to bring up my mom is Latina, and I bring that up because Latinas have tempers, and so I kind of get that from my mom, and so we're just constantly like that. So, and my dad is white, so I'm mixed. I'm also bilingual, so I have this special bond with my mom because we fluently speak Spanish, and then I love my dad, but love my dad, but it's more like my mom, this special bond. So I'm gonna digress away from that for a little bit, and so I'm gonna bring up this milestone, important moment in my life, which is sports for me. Sports, fitness, anything athletics are really important to me in my life. So I have an older brother, and my mom pushed him to play the sport water polo. So my mom is the type of parent that like would make you play sports or like eat healthy snacks or whatever, whether you wanted to or not. Just that type of parent that would push you to do whatever or not. So I was like a stubborn kid, and I didn't want to do those things. So when I got older, when my mom pushed my brother to play water polo in high school. We're 11 years apart. And so when I finally get to high school, she pushed me as well. I didn't want to do it at first, but she pushed me, made me go anyways. I went to that first summer practice, and honestly, I've never looked back. It's been like my absolute passion. I couldn't be more grateful and thankful because of my mom for pushing me to like do something I didn't want to originally do, but I'm like the happiest I've ever been. I've been playing water polo for the past 8 years, all of high school, 2 years at my community college, and like I still play like masters and like club and everything. Best thing to ever happen to me because of my mom. So like I would not be who I am to this day without my mom. So going to answer the question of what would I do if I had 1 year to live, going back to how my mom speaks Spanish, she is a translator at a high school. And so she is very giving and likes to help people. And she translates to people who can't obviously speak in English. So if I had 1 year to live, I would want to spend that time with my mom, learning more about her like giving nature, about like her speaking Spanish to people and helping people out. Also like learning more about like my specific side of the family, which is her, and learning the traditions so I can pass those down to my kids, and like my mom will like never be forgotten. So yeah, that's what I would do with my last year to live. So thank you.
Okay, I guess I'll go now. So
Wait,
mine's
do we have to,
also.
I think
Go
we
ahead.
have, are you gonna start your speech, or I think we have to like kind of talk about what Christina
Oh,
said.
okay. Is
Yeah.
that okay? Sorry.
Okay.
Sorry, I didn't want to interrupt you, but I just want to make
No,
sure
yeah.
we're on the
Well,
right
I
track
mean,
and
I want to
everything.
do the right thing. Yeah. Okay.
Christina, I feel like I can definitely relate to your story. I feel like a lot of moms are that way. My mom definitely growing up was like, you have to play a sport, you have to do an instrument. And honestly, I think there's stuff where I think I just like from being pushed, I was able to try so many things that I probably wouldn't have if she didn't push me that hard. And so
No,
like
literally.
I definitely relate with you on that in those terms.
Best thing, but parents are always right. But
Yeah, I definitely relate to you as well. I'm Latina as well, and I understand like the whole feisty, Latina mom thing, and I just love hearing how like close you guys are. it's nice to see that and hear that.
Thank you.
I thought it was interesting how you said, sorry,
Yeah.
how you said like you guys are so similar but like different also, because that's how me and my mom are. We're like we'll bump heads, but it's like that bond that's just like even if
Mhm.
you're like arguing about like the littlest thing, it's like you always come back to her, you know?
Exactly.
It's an unbreakable bond.
Exactly.
I would definitely relate. Like, I'm really close with my mom. Like, my mom is like my rock, and like she always forced me to like do sports, and like whenever I had a hard time, like she would be there for me and supported me. So like, I definitely relate to you a lot. Yeah,
Love to hear
I get you.
that.
I also like I'm doing mine on my mom, so like it definitely like a lot of the stuff hit home for me. So I mean, I definitely relate, and I enjoyed listening to what you had to say.
Thank you guys.
Okay, I guess I'll go now. So if I only had 1 year to live, I would definitely want the relationship of focus to be with my mom. I mean, of course, like I obviously have love for all of my family and a deep care for them. But like honestly, the person who's always been by my side for everything and anything would definitely be my mom. My mom is definitely the smartest, most caring, and easily the most helpful person that has ever been in my life. I feel that's why me or very her me, me and her are very much alike in the sense that we have like a very close bond, and there's a lot of honesty and just trust between us, which I really like. Only 1 year to live is obviously like of course a short amount of time that is really precious and beyond valuable. So that means like I would have to focus like in our relationship. Well, I don't have to, but obviously that's like what I would want to do because to me that'd be like the main focus with that like such little time. But one thing I would definitely like would an increase would be like our time just talking conversation, as this is already like pretty frequently, but I would definitely ensure that this amount of time between us would be even larger and for in order for us to be able to share our thoughts, concerns, like basically anything with one another. Um, Another thing that I would definitely make sure we did at least a few times in that span of time would be taking some trips together since me and my mom have had some really great memories in terms of traveling to different places ever since I was very little, which means a lot to me, as I know it does to her for sure. Um, Another easy and simple thing I would really focus on is just being the best listener possible, as if I knew like my time was coming to an end on Earth or being alive, however you want to phrase it. I'd want to make my mom the happiest I possibly could, so I'd really listen and really try to do like whatever it would take to have like my final memories for her, like being us together, like be the best possible. So I would really like have that area of emphasis. Um, I guess I would say in terms of like conclusion, I think that one final year with my focus at hand being with my mom and continuing to maintain our great relationship would really be meaningful and a memorable way to spend the remainder of my life if that was a reality.
That was really nice. Where would you take your mom? Like, I know you guys said you guys take track trips together, but like, is there a specific place where she would want to go,
Uh,
or is it just like anywhere?
Probably anywhere. I mean, we've had like some like great trips. Like, well, it hasn't just been me, but like me and her. But a lot of the trips we've taken, like we've gone to like Hawaii together, Mexico, some places like that. So I mean, those are always pretty memorable.
I really like how you were saying you're trying to increase your talking time to your mom. I also like relate to that. I'm trying to call her like every day and like, gotta stay in touch with the parents or the mom. Because like that you said that. It's important, especially we're in college, so we gotta try and maintain that.
Definitely.
Yeah, like Christina, I like kind of really like that you wanted to talk more to your mom. I'll kind of dive a little into it in my speech, but I lost my mom when I was 17. So the thought of being able to talk to her more would be something I would want to do, definitely. So I could completely relate with wanting to talk more to her.
I agree with you. Like taking that time to spend with a loved one, like I chose my mom too. Like just taking that year and getting away and like spending more time with them as much as I can. Like I 100% agree with you. Like I wouldn't change it.
Okay, are we ready for the next one?
Yep.
Okay. So, I also chose my mom. I know, funny how we're all kind of choosing. I think we probably all chose our. I was really close to choosing my dad, but just because my dad's always like, I don't spend as much time with him because he's always at work, or like I come home and he's like already in bed or stuff like that. But my mom was like have more communication with her. So basically the reason why I chose my mom, um, I feel like her love is like no other. Like it can't compare to like I think like anybody else's love. She's always done the best for me and my siblings and my dad and everybody that lives in our household, including her own mom. Like seeing how she treats her mom is like, oh dang, like I want to treat my mom that way when she gets older, you know? She always cares for us and things like that. And then like a memory that I have of my mom is like my mom has had a total of like maybe 15 plus eye surgeries in either or eye. So I remember being in elementary school, she would get like her eye surgeries, so she can't drive. So she would walk to her elementary school and pick me up, and then like I would have to like guide her into like, the streets and stuff. Like, okay, mom, like now we can go. There's no cars crossing. So it's like something that really stuck with me like throughout my whole life because ever since I can remember, she's always struggled with like her eyesight and um you know, and so right now, now that I'm older, I'm able to like appreciate the time that I have with her and like if she needs to go to the store, I take her because I do not like her driving because like I don't know, it's just been like a thing for me and my siblings. Like if we could just take her, like we'll take her. So and if I had 1 year left, I would definitely take her wherever she wants. She's always wanted to go to like Jerusalem and like um places where she's really big on religion. So I would want to take her to like where this Jesus was born and all those places because that's like one of her dreams of hers. And then I would say also Rome because she's really into like all that um religion stuff, like visiting like the visit the where the Pope is at and stuff like that. So I would really want to like take her wherever she wants and like do everything that I could possibly do for her. But yeah.
That's really beautiful. It's like so nice that you have such a close relationship with your mom. It's really, really endearing and nice.
Thank you.
I
Yeah.
love how you're super close to your mom and you're like very caring for her and you look out for her. And I think that's very nice because I would do the same thing.
Thanks.
I like how you also pointed out like the specific like thing about like going on trips and stuff and like pointing out like things that your mom liked to like make her happy and go enjoy those things. So I really appreciated that part of your speech.
Thank you.
Yeah, Heidi, I really enjoyed that. Sorry. Really, and that was a moving story about your mom with her like eyes surgery and stuff like that. So like it's nice that like you're older and you're really taking that time. Like we like as we get older, we appreciate that time with our mom a lot more. So
Yeah, and now I'm like able to take her like to her eye doctors and like her surgeries that she has like still. So it's like, you know, it's
yeah,
nice to like be able to take her.
yeah, that's really nice.
Like Christina, I really did like that story about the eye thing. I mean, my mom got really sick, and so I was in a similar position to you where you were, where you're just kind of taking care of them and making sure that they're okay. And I really liked that part of your story, how much you care for her.
Thank you.
I guess I'll go next. Um, Looking at this question and choosing a loved one, I would have to go with also my mom. I like how we choose our moms, but I have to choose my mom because she's my loved one. She's my rock. She's been with me since birth, and she's always been there for me. She's a very charismatic, loving, nurturing woman. She loves taking me. A favorite memory of mine growing up is she would do anything for me. So my mom, every day after school, like, well, ever so often, after school, she would take me to go get like, like a fast food joint or something like that because I always craved that as a little kid. I wanted to go there all the time. Like I love Wendy's and stuff like that. So my favorite memory of me would be like my mom taking me there like ever so often, like after school or after practice. And it just like the thought of her doing that is means a lot to me because she took time out of her day. She like actually cared for me and she like provided for me. And so going back to the question, if I had to spend a year of my life with someone, I would say with my mother. And the things I would do with her would be traveling because she wants to go to Europe. She's going to go to Europe this year with my dad in a few weeks. So that would be nice. But she wants to travel around the world. So you guys said traveling around the world. She wants to go do that. My mom is a very caring and loving person. So probably go to some homeless shelters or charity foundations and trying to give back to our community and trying to share like the wealth and share the love with everyone else because that's what my mom loves to do. And yeah, no, I love my mom to death. It was very hard because my dad, I mean, he works all the time, so my mom is always there, and so I would rely on my mom because my mom is like always at my games. She'll be at my like school concerts or attendances, you know what I mean? But my mom is my rock and I love her for that. And she's a very nurturing, caring, loving woman who will do anything for her kids. I have a sister, but she was always there for me whenever my dad couldn't make it to a meeting. She was there at that game. She was there at my speech. I would definitely choose my mom to go travel, to go explore, to go give back to the community because she's my mom and I love her to death. And that's what I would do. So thank you. Thank you guys for listening.
Grant, I like can totally relate on like that about how like if your dad couldn't make it to like games and stuff, like mom was always there, like definitely
Yeah.
literally all the time. And, like how you said she like always bought you like fast food and stuff. My mom also the same thing. So
Oh my gosh, we can relate.
that was
So
nice.
funny. Thank you. Thank you.
That was nice.
I really like the idea of you talking about how your mom's your rock. And I feel like that's the case for a lot of us is like our mom is like the central person that you'd always go to if something was wrong or they're always there to support you. And, not saying that your dad doesn't do anything or anything like that. But I feel like for most people, it's definitely their mom. And I really liked the way you described that.
Yeah, 100% agree. Like my dad, he would try to go, but like he's just busy all the time. And you would think like as a guy, like I don't know, from my viewpoint, like I'd be more closer to my dad, but it's just my mom. Like I love my mom to death. So thank you for that.
Yeah, I also really enjoyed listening to what you had to say because especially as you talked, like I could see like a lot of similarities with my mom and especially like experiences like going to eat together and like all that sort of
Yeah.
stuff. Like it was very like it kind of felt like my mom. So like I really enjoyed listening to your story.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you.
Yeah, I also really enjoyed listening to yours. I think it's funny because, like, when you're talking about fast food, I remember like my mom is the one that would always say to me like, "Go get fast food," because if I would ask my dad, he'd be like, "No, your mom probably made something at home." Little did he know, my mom's
Oh,
the one taking me to get these fast food. Yeah.
oh yeah, like my dad would always be like, "Yeah, there's food at home. Why you have to spend money?" And my mom would be like,
Yeah.
"Oh, stop! Like, let's just take him out once." And I would be like, "Yeah,
Yeah.
this is so nice."
Exactly.
Yeah, that was really beautiful. I always read about like how the relationship between like a son and a mother is like no other. So it's really
Yeah,
nice to hear that, you would do anything for her.
yeah, I would. Thank you, thank you, thank you guys for listening.
So I will go next. And now I feel bad because everyone chose their mother and I actually chose my boyfriend. So yeah, it's like really endearing to hear all of you, talk about your family. But for me right now, my boyfriend is like he's so dear to me. He makes me like so unbelievably happy. And if I could paint a picture of our relationship, it would be like a very loving, endearing, and caring relationship. He like truly makes me like super happy, and he's like my best friend, and I completely trust him 1000%. Um, if I had a year to live, I would want to travel with my boyfriend. Um, I am a very like curious and adventurous person, so I love to learn about new cultures. Love to travel for like a foodie. Um, I I have traveled extensively recently, so I would definitely want to share that with my boyfriend. The countries that I would mostly want to see would be Greece, Italy, Spain. Those I love the Mediterranean for the culture, the food, the art. It's like such an unbelievable place to visit, and I would definitely want to share that with my boyfriend. He's just like the most like caring person. Like I wake up and he's like, "Good morning, beautiful." He makes me feel like so loved and cared for and appreciated. So for me right now, he's like the most important person in my life, and I like can't wait for our relationship to evolve into um a more serious relationship. So I'm definitely like looking towards the future with him.
That was honestly
That's all.
that was a nice story. I really like that.
Oh, thank you.
Um, what
I
the
felt really bad because everybody's like, "Oh my God, their mom," and I'm like, "My boyfriend."
No, that's a good story. Honestly,
Aw,
that's nice to hear with like how like,
yeah.
college and like how relationships are. There's nice that there's healthy and like positive relationships that exist.
No, I am like super happy, and just like he fills my heart with like so much love.
Oh,
And yeah, I just like every time I look at him, we're like, I don't know, it's just like he makes me feel like very safe. Unlike you guys, like my parents, I grew up, they're divorced, so it was like a little bit chaotic. So I don't know, it's like really nice to find somebody that I trust and can rely on.
that's really nice to hear. Are you
Yeah.
guys gonna get engaged, maybe?
I mean, I'm hoping. Wishful thinking, right?
I hope you do.
Thank you. Thank you.
I don't know. I like that you chose to do your boyfriend. I think it's a nice change of pace because I feel like everybody definitely, clearly, we've all pretty much all done our mothers. And so I think it's a nice change of pace to hear a different kind of like a different side of your relationship, you know?
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, I
I
agree.
definitely agree. Oh, you go.
Go ahead, Grant. I'll go next.
No, you go, man.
Okay. No, I was just gonna say that like I liked how you chose somebody different, and I mean I don't really feel like there's any wrong way to do this because it's all personal, and I mean it's what's applicable for you. So I think it's cool that you chose who's most important to you in your life. So I respect that.
Thank you.
I would have to agree with Robert. I think it's cool that you're really close with your boyfriend, and it's connecting with me and my mom as well, like traveling around the world, like seeing places. I think that's great. I think you're so great that you're with your boyfriend and you love him to death.
Oh, thank you. Thank you
Yeah,
so much.
Yeah, I think it's
no
so cute
problem.
how you picked your boyfriend up. I was thinking about it. I was like, I was like, my mom, my dad, my boyfriend. You know, so I think
Yeah.
it's good how you like it's different from what we've heard. Of course, we're like, okay, we love our mom, she's done this and this for us. But for you, it's like, hey, it's like your boyfriend. So I think it's really interesting. And congrats. Hope all goes well.
Thank you.
Okay. So I'm gonna go. So I basically did my aunt, but she's like my mom, and I go into it further when I start up the speech. But when I was 17, my mom passed away from cancer, and for most of my life, it was just me, my mom against the world. My dad traveled a lot, so it was basically like being raised by a single parent. And then when I was pretty young, my parents got divorced, and later on, my dad moved out of the country. So because of his absence, I've never been really close to him. So when my mom passed away, I basically kind of lost the only parent I really knew. And so when it came to living arrangements, it came down to three choices, which was I could move in with my dad and his family who lived out of the country, which I really didn't want to do just because of how close we weren't at the time. I could move in with this friend of mine, their family, who offered to house me until I went to college for the next year. or what I inevitably did, which was to move across the country and live with my aunt and uncle. I've always been really close with that side of the family, but more specifically my aunt. When I was a little kid, every year I'd come out to California for a week and she'd do this thing called Hana Fest, which was basically this week where I just go and I got to choose whatever I wanted to do. So we would travel all around the Bay Area, eat sweets, do movie marathons, play games, and it was a lot of fun because my aunt, she's just like this ball of energy. And so she's like always ready for this next adventure. And as a little kid, I didn't have any grandparents because they all passed away before I was born. So for me, it was kind of the equivalent to like a grandmother spoiling your child. Um, but within the last 8 years since I've been living with them, our relationship has definitely changed. She took me in and she treated me like her own child. She made sure I had everything I needed and supported me in every which way possible, whether it was, making sure I was in my new school and had all the accommodations I needed to succeed, or helping me find my new apartment, or making sure I took my vitamins every day when I first moved in. And a couple years back, I went through this period where it's kind of really dark for me. And even then, she was there for me every day. She went to my therapy sessions. She made me get out of bed and do things. She made me journal. She made me write a list of activities that I wanted to do so I'd have something to do every day. And even on the days where I barely did anything, she was still there for me. At that point, she was no longer that, the fun, cool aunt, but she became like the mother and support system that I needed after losing something like that so young. And I think I truly realized that when she had told me that when my mom died, that there was no doubt in her mind that I would come to live with them. And then again, about maybe 3 years ago, when we got in a fight and she wanted to kind of like voice her feelings. So she wrote me a letter and she addressed the letter to my daughter and signed Love Mom. My aunt, who I call my mom, is my shield of life because she became my mom when I needed it the most. Because without her support and unconditional love, I wouldn't be where I am right now. She definitely helped me through one of the hardest times I've ever had in my life and continues to help me every day. And like most people, while you never want to have to think about the idea of only having 1 year left to live, if I did, I would want to travel everywhere with her. We both love traveling so much. And as a child, we had so many adventures that I went on that I have some of the best memories of. And so I think I'd want to travel all over the world. I think more specifically Europe, because she really loves doing that. We actually just got back from a trip visiting Italy to go visit my brother. And so being able to travel all over Europe would be a lot of fun because there's a lot of places she hasn't been, like London. So yeah.
I really like your story, especially because like I'm actually pretty close with my aunt as well. So like it was very relatable. And especially in terms of like traveling and all that sort of stuff, especially since like that's one of my biggest interests. And like I definitely have shared it mostly with my mom, but really a lot of other members of my family, because I've even traveled with all my family before on multiple occasions. So it was just like really endearing and like very relatable.
Thanks.
Yeah, I think that's great that you're so close with your aunt. I'm sorry to hear about your mom, though. I'm really sorry about that. But I'm glad that your aunt, took care of you and was like a mother to you at some point and was taking you and you wanted to go to Europe with her at some point. And that relates back to home with me because I want to take my mom to Europe and, spend time with her. So I felt like that was really cool. I'm glad to hear that.
Thanks.
Yeah, that was really beautiful to hear. And I'm also very sorry about your mom, but it's really nice to hear like that you and your aunt have become like that type of relationship and stuff like that. I hope that you guys do travel like all over Europe and everything. Hope you get to do all that.
I mean, that's the goal, right? To travel everywhere and experience all sorts of different cultures, right?
Mhm.
Yeah, that was so beautiful. And I am sorry, for your loss, but I'm so happy like that you have your aunt and she's like your guarding angel and guiding you through life. It's so beautiful that and it's like just speaks volumes of who she is, willing to take on such a huge responsibility. So I'm like, you know, thankful that she's there for you, and you guys have such like a close bond. It's really beautiful, and I am wishing you lots of like travel fun in the future.
Thanks.
Yeah, I think it's really nice. Really paid attention to like the part where she sent you a letter when you guys got into an argument or a discussion. She put your daughter for mom. I thought that was the sweetest thing, and like I'm pretty sure it touched your heart, like very, very close to your heart. Like it really touched you. And so I'm sorry about your mom, but I'm glad, like Sandy said, I'm glad you have your aunt there to be your supporter and be your mom for you.
Thank you.
Maybe we can stop recording.
Yeah, I believe so. I think everyone went.
I think we're good.